I want to start with you because I know you're normally you said yourself, you're quite harsh on yourself, on your work and things. But this film, I feel like you really do love. What was it that you particularly love about this?
I think it's a film like the kind of films I like to watch, which were in the golden age of cinema in my mind in the 70s, where you're not patronised and you're not told what to think. You go on a journey and it's fully immersive. And that's thanks to James, who is one of the best filmmakers in the world. So he just made my kind of film.
Always nice to hear.
It is, and when I wake up every morning, that's not the thought that comes into my mind, so thank you.
Rob Pattinson, we obviously got in here, who, he got his fame from being Edward Cullen in Twilight. Did you feel that you had to really kind of ugly him up and make him look pretty much unrecognisable in this film so people weren't thinking, Edward Cullen?
Yeah, we didn't do that consciously. We didn't say, I want to make you as ugly as possible. When you look at old photographs of the journeys that they took and what they looked like, that's kind of what they looked like. I mean, beards out of control. It's like the Big Beard movie. So it came first from the reality of the situation, but it's very clear that he did something quite generous, jokes aside, which is that he really immersed himself and disappeared into the character. And that is a very beautiful and generous thing for an actor to do, particularly an actor who is sort of very star quality to him. And, I joked that it's like hanging out with one of the Beatles in 1964. I mean, hordes of screaming girls everywhere he goes. And he was very generous that way.
Sienna, I was surprised to see you playing Tom Holland's mum, because I don't see you as Tom Holland's mum at all, not even a mum figure. What's that like for you when they're like, you're going to play, this up-and-coming, BAFTA rising star?
Yeah. Well, by that point in the film, they'd aged me to about 45, so it wasn't me as myself. The character, I think, goes from 21-ish to...
Well, it's a 20-year span in the movie.
More than that, right?
No, it's
end.
20.
But that last...
Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I go
25 or 30 years almost.
So by the time Tom Holland's my son, I had been aged up to an appropriate age. But I think I probably...
Well, you are a mom.
I'm a mum, but not of a... How old is he, Tom?
He's 19. He was 19 when we shot.
19, right. So I would have been a very young mum if I had been...
Well, she probably...
But
she probably was.
Not 13. It would have been a bit weird.
No, that's true.
He's lovely, and I was thrilled to be in scenes with him because he's such a great actor. And I love playing a woman over the span of her life. That's another thing I really got to enjoy playing, and seeing how physically she would change and the physicality of that, and vocally, and, if you leave me alone, I'd be one eye and a hunchback. So this was my idea of heaven.
Obviously, Charlie's character's obsession in this is obviously finding that lost city. Have you guys, in your lifetime, had an obsession that you think either now that you still have, or have had, like, maybe from a young age?
Well, my obsession was always to be considered this wonderful filmmaker, and that obsession has changed in a major way over the last 20 years. When I was in college, I thought, I want to be this great director. But then you realize it doesn't really mean anything. And you realize very quickly that the process is much more exciting than the final product, and that you have to become totally process-oriented. So my obsession now is to be the best craftsman in a way, which is a very different thing. So it's an obsession that sort of weirdly stayed the same yet changed. I don't know if that's answering your question.
Yeah, it's evolved. But Sienna thinks you're a great filmmaker anyway, so...
She'd be the one.
I'm not the only one.
And Sienna, how about you?
I don't know that I'm obsessed. I mean, I'm really into things.
What's the difference between obsession and being really into things?
Because an obsession it has some connotation, but if you look up the actual definition of obsession, it's probably more sinister than...
Yeah, that's true. It has negative connotations.
It does to me. I'm pretty obsessed with my kid, like most parents.
There you go. That's good
cheating.
Obsession.
That's cheating.
Just because you wish you said that. Well, then say that when you're asked.
I know, but
you're obsessed with cinema, and I'm almost obsessed with cinema and art.
I am obsessed with art.
There you go.
I'm obsessed with art.
And music.
They're good answers, guys.
And
thank you.
She's
like, let me get out of here.
Siena's going to find loads of obsessions. Thank you so much, guys. Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And Edward Cullen.
Oh my God! Hey!
Zane's got a great voice. I'll just leave it at that.
I've wanted to meet you. We haven't met each other yet.
Got some lipstick on your teeth.